Hello and welcome to the Superintendent's Perspective. My name is Mario Salinas. I am the Edinburgh School District Superintendent. Today I am joined by Assistant Superintendent for Support Services, Dr. Anthony Garza. Today's topic, it's an update. We're wrapping up the semester, so it's an update on several different topics that we think are significant for the community to know. Right off the bat, as we start every show, we start with a COVID update, and I happen to have Dr. Garza, who is in charge of COVID mitigation. Dr. Garza, can you give us an update on COVID for this week?
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me on the show, Dr. Salinas. As a former COVID director, it's very close to my heart to continue to monitor the pandemic and the cases that we have in the school district. Last week we had 20 positive cases on campus. So the numbers continue to decline. And out of 32,000 plus students, 20 cases is pretty good. Attendance rates are up there, and the students are continuing with the mask mandate, and our staff is as well. And we're seeing the difference that the kids are able to stay in class and not be absent due to getting sick. So
I know that you have completed the second round of vaccinations for the students between the ages of 11 and 5.
Yeah.
Do you suppose that is helping mitigate some of the spread of COVID?
Definitely. Our nursing team that goes around, our traveling roving nursing team, went to all the elementaries. They went 31 elementaries. They did 2 rounds. They did a whole first round. 3 weeks later, they did a whole second round. They just finished on Monday. So I think that's helping a lot, getting those young ones vaccinated, because they're the ones that are a little bit, they're not as good as the older ones when it comes to keeping to themselves, hands to themselves, social distance. But now that a lot of them got vaccinated, the ones that wanted to get vaccinated by the parents, we got them vaccinated. So.
But 20 cases of COVID is very little, considering that we have over 32,000 students attending school. Hopefully we continue to improve in that area. The other item that I want to comment on, and you're very familiar with this, is the barbecue cook-off that we had for the first time ever.
It was awesome. I heard nothing but positive feedback. We had 45 teams from the campuses and departments compete, and I know we have some professional cooks in our employee with our staff.
It was only for employees.
It was only for our employees. It was an appreciation cook-off. It was your vision, and we put it together. We had a lot of help putting it together, and we had some great. The vendors came out and donated money, and all the money went back to staff. This was a nonprofit event. We gave out $6,675 in prize money. We have 3 categories. I know everyone was excited about that. The fajitas, chicken, and the ribs category. And man, they were cooking away out there. I saw nothing but smiles. The camaraderie that I did see was awesome. They all brought their barbecue pits from home that they have decked out in Dallas Cowboy stuff. Really a neat event. It was really neat.
This is what I love doing. I love the competition. I love the barbecuing. So as soon as I heard that Edinburgh was having it, I was all excited about it, because I was hoping that one of these days Edinburgh would have a cook-off. There was a lot of people that entered the cook-off, and I like the way everybody was, entering, setting up, and it just felt like, the real cook-offs, the real competition. I got the 10th on the chicken, and it was 7th on the fajitas. So I was kind of like nervous, because I was like, they hadn't called for the ribs. But I did hear, people did try the ribs, and they were like, oh, that it was amazing. They were amazing ribs. So I thought, well, maybe I do have a good chance for a, top 5. And when they called the first, it was like, wow, we were jumping like crazy. But especially when we heard that we were the grand champion, that was like super exciting, because it's like, I'm going to be known as the first annual grand champion.
I want to thank Ruben Ramirez. He's one of our employees. He works for library services, and when you came and asked me, hey, I want you to help me do a barbecue, and I told you, I don't know anything about a cook-off, and then I asked you, and you said, well, I don't either. I said, I think I might know a guy, and Ruben came through for us. He was able to give me guidance. Me and him met over and over this last month, and we were able to put it together thanks to his expertise. But he came over and he says, I will help you guys. I've always wanted for the school district to do one of these, and I'm glad that you called me and made it happen.
You know, I've been working for the district for over 30 years. I can't recall a single instant where we invite the whole district for a social event. I can't recall not a single event or instance where the entire district is invited to a social event such as that barbecue cook-off. And from my perspective, I wasn't working like you were. I was walking around visiting, visiting with our staff. See, because I visit with staff on campus, you know, and they're working, they're under stress, but under these conditions where they're relaxed, they're cooking, they're joking with each other, they're playing around, they're, you know, they in a relaxed setting. It was something that I had never seen before done in our school district. I thought it was a very positive event.
Yeah.
Nothing but positive reviews by everybody.
Oh yeah, it was about time. I've always, when Dr. Garza was at Economides, he wanted to try to incorporate something like this at our campus. The best part of the day was the food. It was a lot of fun also. We hope so they do it on an annual basis, and you know, for the best cook win, you know.
One of the toughest parts was getting a hold of the judges. So we got 32 judges per category. That's 96 judges. And I tried 2 weeks earlier to get them, and I only got about 15, 18. And then going into the last day, we were still in the 20s. I still didn't have 32. But I got on the phone and I asked the principal, hey, give me 2 assistant principals, give me a counselor. And they went and asked, and we got them. But that day of the event, everyone that came out of that judge's tent said, hey, sign me up for next year. I'm ready to go. You know, I loved it so much that they were taste testing 15 to 20 pieces of fajita or chicken, and they were just smiles on their face. They were in awe. 99% of them said, I've never judged before. This is the greatest thing ever. Sign me up. So I don't think we'll have a problem getting judges next year. I don't think so.
It was a very good event, and I'm already looking forward to the event for next year. Another update on today's show is the enrollment. When we started school in August 16th, we were right at 29,000, maybe below 28,000 something students enrolled. Now every week since, we have added children to our enrollment, to our campuses. They've enrolled every week, we get more and more and more students enrolling on our campuses.
I go to Sanders. You hear the timer and you get in line. I learn about patterns, music. I go to movies. I learn an ABC mouse.
Right now, we're approaching 32,500 students, so we continue. This week, we continue to enroll students. So, what are your observations? Because you handle this as well. What are your observations as far as enrollment for our students?
I believe that the parents are seeing the COVID rates dropping. And the first week, they're like, my kid's not going to school. I'm going to wait and see. And after a few weeks, they're like, wow, they're being sanitary. They're washing their hands. They're getting vaccinated more. And they just feel more comfortable that we're keeping their kids safe. And we are. And the word is out there like, wow, they only had 20 kids sick last week. I know some came out for the virtual school that we were doing, and a lot of them have gone to virtual, and then after a week or two, he's ready for school. I think he needs to be with the teacher. And you and I both know that the kids learn best in person with a live teacher and not at home on the computer. Last year, the big decline in learning was because half of them had their computer, the camera off, or they're asleep all day. And you know, it wasn't a good year for academics. But this year we don't have that option. And the few that are on virtual, they have to keep the camera on, and they don't like that, so they just rather come to school. But I think our vaccination efforts by our health services department has made a big difference on our enrollment. And we're getting a lot. I do handle the transfer requests, getting a lot of out-of-district transfers that belong to our surrounding areas that want to come into the district. And if they have a good record, we're letting them in. If they got a bad record, then they're declined. They need to stay at
Would
their
you say
school.
we have around 300 or 400, maybe 500 out-of-district transfers?
The last
from
check,
our surrounding towns?
the last check was 575.
575.
About 575 out-of-district transfers. They live in McAllen, Far, Donna area. Yeah.
Yeah. One other thing on enrollment, I know that we're approaching 32,500 students enrolled, but I know that we're making an effort, a renewed effort for our children, to encourage our children to attend to school every day, not Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, but Monday through Friday.
Attendance is very important. We want to make sure that students are there in school to make sure that they receive all the instruction that they possibly can receive, especially now that we're coming back for face-to-face instruction. I know that our students were without face-to-face instruction for 17 months. So 17 months created a huge learning loss. So therefore, now more than ever, it's very important that our students are there in school. Of course, at the high school level, our students, they take the core areas, the English, the math, the science, and the social studies, and of course, electives. So when they are out, they miss all those different subjects, important information pertaining to those subjects. We also have the truancy laws that are in effect, that students, they have to be in school, they must be in school, because otherwise then students become truant. And we want to make sure that they don't end up like that they are not truant. So we want them in school, they need to be in school.
It doesn't do any good for us to have the child enrolled if they're not in class interacting with the teacher. So we're making an effort to encourage the students to come to school Monday through Friday, not MWF. So I know that we're encouraging our parents, we're encouraging our students to come to school daily, so that we can start making up some of the academic learning losses that our students experience as a result of being at home for a year, more than a year.
It's very important for students to attend class daily. Just 2 days a month that a student misses, they get behind on a lot of foundational skills that are set up for them so that they are learning in a progressive timeline. It's very important, and this is the way that kids really get to know and understand what they're learning. I'd like to say to parents that it's very important to send your child to class. Believe it or not, just one day, children miss out on so much that's going on in their school and in their education. And really, it's very important for them just to set that basic foundational skill of responsibility and knowing what it is to contribute to their learning.
The other thing that I think that a big reason that there's families bringing their children to our school districts. Number one, they're safe. Mm-hmm. That's number one. Number two, we've got some programs here in our district that nobody else is offering. Example, and we talked about it last week, full day pre-K 3 and pre-K 4 programs. Full day, not half day, at the neighborhood school. So that is attracting parents from other districts, bringing their children to our schools. Our pre-K 3 and 4 programs are being taught by highly qualified teachers, and then they have a certified aide in the classroom as well.
I've heard from a lot of parents that they're saving that monthly daycare bill that they would be paying because they're bringing them over to the pre-K 3, pre-K 4 program. And they like that we stay till 5 with our after-school program.
Yes, we keep them there all day, but they're also getting exposed to high quality teaching. And, I was there, we went to visit schools yesterday, as a matter of fact, and I saw some of the high quality teaching going on in the classroom with our 3 and 4 year old program. The other thing that the other initiative, and you mentioned it, is the after school program. And I was at a campus yesterday where the children were doing maps, charts, and graphs. I don't know, 5 or 6 or 7 students with a teacher. Another group of students were all girls, 4 or 5 girls, were doing Spanish poetry. They were reading in Spanish. Another group of students, they were doing ready writing and practicing their speeches.
We look at maps, and then we get
questions and we try to answer them. And we work in like groups, and we sometimes we help each other or the teacher, because sometimes like it's hard to find the places that they tell us to find. So we help each other and we help the teacher.
I mean, another group, big group, doing physical activity in the gym. Principal actually was telling me, you know, if the children are doing ready writing yesterday, the day on that was Wednesday. On Monday they were doing UIL math or maps, graphs, and charts. So she was telling me, you know, the quality of interaction between that small group of students versus the teacher is of the highest quality that we offer.
The after-school program is an extension of the classroom, and it provides students opportunities to engage in activities that they don't normally get to engage in the classroom, in the regular classroom, and kind of highlight some of the talents that they have. The wonderful thing about the after-school program is, first we start off with dinner, so it's great that they get to nourish their bodies with healthy foods and meals. And then they get supervised in doing the things that they love to do, and they get to choose what they want to be a part of. It is a great help for parents, because parents who work through 5 o'clock know that they don't have to worry about the well-being of their child because they are well taken care of here at our school.
Yeah.
And she was commenting, I can only imagine the growth that the child is going to have in the span of a year. When you in a small group in setting like that with a teacher, and the growth is going to be exponential.
All those different after-school programs, they just help make the student more well-rounded. They know more things instead of just the reading and math. You know, they're doing esports, robotics, UIL, fine arts, athletics. So kudos to all those sponsors. I know that those teachers are staying behind and staying that extra hour, but I know that the majority that I talk to, they enjoy working with the kids and seeing the kids' growth.
I think it's a great opportunity for our kids. What we love the most now is that it's offered to anyone. Anyone is able to participate, any student from any economic background, any accelerated student, any student can participate in Art Smart, and they're able to shine in all these after-school programs in their different elements. So it's a great opportunity.
If these children stay with this after-school program through elementary, middle, and high, by the time they get to high school, they're going to be children very prepared to do high-level, rigorous work, not only at the high school, but at the college level.
Yes.
Also, to move on to our updates, I know that as soon as we get back from the holidays, and Friday we break for the holidays for 10 days or more, we start gearing up for graduation. You're in charge of that too, so tell us about graduation and when it's going to happen. And
We're going to have graduation on June the 3rd and June the 4th. That's going to be a Friday and Saturday. And this year we're going back to Bert Ogden Arena.
Bert Ogden Arena.
And the good part about that, you and I both know, no weather that we have to deal with in there. So
the threat of bad weather is not a threat.
Yeah,
when we have graduation in the arena. And so the community can know, on June the 3rd at 8 o'clock in the morning, it's a Friday, Edinburgh North is going to graduate. On June the 3rd, on a Friday, at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Economitas High School is going to graduate. On Saturday, June the 4th, Edinburgh High School at 8 o'clock in the morning is going to graduate. And June the 4th, Robert Vela will graduate as well at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
We believe that the 8 a.m. and 3 p.m. is plenty of time to get all those parents to leave and get a fresh set, because I know we've done 4 in a row in the past, and they're parking all on top of each other, and it's really difficult to get them out and get them in such a short period of time.
Yeah.
But this should be helpful.
Before we wrap it up, I just want to say that we're at the end of the semester. Children are taking their final exams at the high school. They're taking we call them benchmarks, really, at the middle and high. Sorry, at the elementary and at the middle. For their students to wrap up the semester, and we start a new semester January 5 for the students.
Yeah, the students come back on Wednesday, January the 5th. That's correct.
This concludes today's episode of the Superintendent's Perspective. Thank you for joining us. Stay healthy and stay safe.